Okay, hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Marcus, and today I want to talk about um, how you are not your body. None of these physical organs, body parts actually belongs to you. Okay, now hear me out. So, do you identify yourself with your brain? What your brain thinks, your thoughts, your emotions, and everything that happens through your mind in your mind space. And what do we usually tell ourselves about who we are? Let me give you an example. I am Marcus. I am 26 years old. I have so and so job. I have so and so culture. I am of this and this race. I am born here, this year, that year. All these labels that we give ourselves, it it's not actually us. It's not actually who we are in essence, the deeper us, right? So, okay, so I believe that everyone can agree that you don't identify yourself with your arm, you don't identify yourself as, oh, this is Marcus, this muscle here, or you don't identify yourself as your leg, and you certainly don't identify yourself with any other body part other than your mind. We think that we are our mind. We think that the brain is who we are, the mind. But what if I asked you a question? When you have thoughts that appear in your mind, when you have thoughts appearing in your mind, who is the one that is listening? Who is the one that is, you know, understanding what that thing is, that thought or emotions? Who is the thing that understands thoughts, that understand whether it is um, perceived to be good or bad by your mind, who observes these kind of phenomenons happening around in your mind, who hears them, who hears the thought. And I believe that your soul is the one that is observing all these. That is the true you. That is the true you. And so sometimes I think that many of us would put too much emphasis on how I look, how I act, how I dress, and they're coming from a place of insecurity and anxiety instead of having the basis of understanding that we are not our physical body, we are not the things that we own, we are not the things that our jobs, for example, it doesn't define us, who we truly are, because nothing in the physical realm, the 3D realm, can actually hold the essence of who you are, right? So think about it. You can't identify with any materialistic things apart from your body. Let's try and look at other things. Your job, is that who you are? Is that your true essence? Your car, your girlfriend. These are all labels that we make up and we store in our brains, and that's how we perceive the world. So how does this kind of information help you? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not really identifying with all my materialistic things around the 3D world, including myself, my body. But how the hell does this benefit me? It benefits you by helping you change your perspective about the perceived importance of having to accumulate so much wealth from the basis of fear. Having to get a certain girlfriend, a certain job in order to be seen, perceived as successful. It can also help with the understanding that all these experiences are made for us to experience it. And I hope that sharing this with you guys can also have the understanding that circumstances that happen to us that can sometimes be perceived as negative should also, be looked at in a way where, okay, so this circumstance happened, and since it's since I don't identify with my body, my brain, and the thoughts that come up from my brain, right? Sorry. And the thoughts that come up in my brain, right? Then this circumstance has not hurt me, hurt the true me, hurt the real me, which is, some people call it the soul, the spirit, whatever you want to call it. But anything in the outside world can never hurt me, right? It can give me some kind of like uncomfortable sensations. It could make me feel a certain way, your emotions, which your mind is, producing chemicals to make you have that feeling in your brain, the perceived feeling of a bad circumstance that happened to your life. But if you identify yourself with your soul as the observer, as the soul sits inside and observes, some people say the soul is actually surrounding us, but whatever you believe, but the soul is just the observer of whatever negative circumstances that happen to your life. And that is an experience that life has gifted you. So I think we should, change our perspective and see it from a different angle. Try to see it as an experience just for the sake of it. And whatever you learn from that, try again next time. If similar circumstances appear again, then you are now better prepared to take the steps to solve that problem. And I believe that problems also make us grow stronger. It forces us out of our comfort zones, and it teaches us something that we are bound to be using in the near future, right? So, yeah, a lot of suffering comes from over identification, sorry, over identification of what we have accumulated, the relationships that we have, A lot of our values that we have, that we think we have, is all based on all these sports cars, the houses that I could afford to buy, the neighborhoods that I live in, the job that I do. They are, yes, when you have them, enjoy it. They are something to be enjoyed, to be experienced. But putting too much emphasis on these things making you worthy in some way is not is just going to cause a lot of suffering. And I think the better way is to see it as an experience without the judgment of whether it is good or bad. If it makes you feel in a pleasant manner, then sure, enjoy it, enjoy that, experience that. I'm not asking you to be a sadist, but enjoy that, right? But also remember, it will end someday or another. It will end. The joy will come back to baseline. Everything that is felt up there will sooner or later come down to the baseline. And whatever at the bottom, whenever you feel down, sad, any negative emotions, whenever it's at the bottom, your emotions and feelings, it will also end. It is bound to end. It will come back to the baseline, homeostasis, right? The baseline, homeostasis. So, suffering also comes from the craving and the need for a repeated attempt at increasing your baseline, and aversion to any sort of pain, responsibilities, uh, overly procrastinating. I say overly because studies have shown that slight procrastination is actually good for health. It relaxes your mind. Anyway, I don't want to jump into that, but slight procrastination because you're trying to avert your attention. You're avoiding it from the pain, from the thing that causes pain, uh, sorrow, guilt, shame, anxiety, and as that feeling is felt, it will come back to the baseline. So suffering comes from craving happiness, and suffering also comes from when you're trying to avert and divert your attention, trying to push away your responsibilities, push away whatever is pulling at you, push away anything that you know you have to do, but you're currently not doing it because it makes you feel bad. So once they return to baseline and you are at equanimity, you're feeling equanimous, then that's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. But when you go up, enjoy that moment, but remind yourself not to get caught up in the feeling of the pleasure, letting it control you instead, craving it every moment. That causes suffering. And when you're feeling the low, when you're feeling down, experience it. Experience it, feel it fully. Don't try to suppress it away, and try to understand what this feeling is trying to tell you. Because I believe that emotions and feelings are a way that our body tries to communicate to us, like something that we are lacking, or some emotional baggage that we should be letting go, that acts from 7 years ago. You gotta let that go. The colleague that backstabbed me, you gotta let that go. That was 3 years ago. You gotta let that shit go. All right. Stop worrying so much. All right. Um. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's it. See you in the next one.